but I know that you have a list of observations, and I would love to hear them.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. So the first thing is, you know, playing off of what Kyle said about not calling her the Scarlet Witch. There's so many almost witches or references to sorcery. We have when Darcy calls the hexagonal anomaly a hex, which is basically a spell. Someone mentions spell. Someone mentions tricks up their sleeve. That there are all these subtle references to magic and witchcraft and sorcery. And even when director Hayward says, "Oh, doesn't she have an alias or some funny
A
name?"
nickname, yes,
A
yes.
funny name,
We're like,
and like,
say it,
yes,
say
yes,
it, say
right, yes,
it.
and it was like on the tip, and they're like, "Nope, absolutely not." And so they're so close to using witch, but up to this point in the series, we have no mentions of the W word, nothing of
Yeah,
witchcraft or sorcery. So that was really fascinating in this episode. Another obviously a big theme is the lack of control of Wanda over her kids, because she's been able to control everybody else and even to some degree Vision. Um, really, really, really hugely fascinating theme is Wanda's revivifying powers of, we have Wu mention how does she bring him back. Wanda says taking care of living things is a big responsibility. The boy says, come on, mom, you can just fix the dead, can't you? And then obviously, Wanda says, we can't just reverse death. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it reminds me of the second episode when they just had this constant mantra of do it for the kids, do it for the kids. And obviously she gets pregnant, has kids in the third episode. This is really leading up. There's a huge piece about revivification. And then, of course, we can talk more about Agnes doing her surveilling. I mentioned family is huge. Where's your brother? He's far away from here, which was shocking that she didn't say dead. She didn't say, oh, he died, and we already heard earlier in the series in the third episode with Monica or Geraldine saying, oh, didn't Ultron kill him? And she didn't want to deal with it. Like she couldn't deal with Pietro's death. So
yeah.
she just threw her out. And then here we have, she's not willing to acknowledge that he's dead. So she's challenged with her grief. And obviously he comes back at the very end. So it's, did she bring him back from the dead? Which goes back to the revivification aspect. I don't know what's going on with all that. But the final thing that is really weird and is the Vision questioning things of, when he, like, obviously when he's at the office, that's really strange. Earlier on when they're in the kitchen, she does something in front of Agnes and he's like, what's going on? And then when the credits are rolling, he's like, we're not done here. Of course, when he comes back to see the dog's dead and he says, you can't control it. So there's friction now developing. And obviously when he screams it, when they both elevate and he's screaming at her, losing his, he by the way, he's lost it. He's
Yeah.
totally lost it at this point, which we've never seen this type of Vision before. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Kevin. This is a really incredible acting turn by Paul Bettany of just a very different side of Vision of really being frustrated. He said, I have no memory beyond a few days ago. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's really interesting.
I'm glad you mentioned the thing of them in the episode starting to kind of use their powers and hover very threatening in front of each other like that. That was really cool.